John Adams wrote to Abigail Adams, May of 1780, to paraphrase, "I must study war and politics so that one day my sons can study mathematics and philosophy. And my sons must study mathematics and philosophy so that one day their children can study literature and the arts and poetry and pottery." And that has inspired me to a lifetime of selfless service, not just in the military, but to the nation. We pay it forward to make this world a safer place for our children and our grandchildren.
I was one of those kids who looked up and saw jets and thought that was really cool, and I want to do that. After graduating from the University of Texas and finishing up the program at the Clements Center, I reported to NAS Pensacola to begin flight training. And I'm currently based at Naval Air Station Lemoore, flying with the VFA-14 Top Patters, oldest and boldest. My name is Lieutenant Mark Trabelli, and I fly the F-18 Super Hornet.
In a very short period of time, the Clements Center has made a tremendous impact, and that impact grows with every academic year and every cycle of students who come here.
When I get around the students that are involved with the center and get to hear the experiences they're having, it really is inspirational. What they go on to do later in their careers, it is something that I think speaks to our goal of having a really high impact as a university.
I'm an assistant professor at the Naval Postgraduate School, and I teach modern Russian history and security policy.
I'm a Foreign Service Officer with the U.S. Department of State.
I'm currently serving as strategist to the 25th U.S. Secretary of the Army.
I'm a Foreign Service Officer with the U.S. Department of State.
I work on technology issues at the Department of Defense.
I am Senator Mitt Romney's National Security Policy Advisor.
I am an ensign in the United States Navy.
I'm a congressional liaison for the U.S.-China Economic and Security Review Commission.
I am currently studying abroad in Almaty, Kazakhstan.
I currently work as a Foreign Service Officer in our embassy here in Sofia, Bulgaria.
And I'm currently based in the United Kingdom, where I support U.S. European Command.
I'm currently an officer in the United States Air Force, and I'm stationed at RAF Lakenheath in the United Kingdom.
I'm a senior analyst and advisor on security issues to the U.S. International Election Observation Mission in Nigeria.
I'm a Foreign Service Officer working for the State Department in Bogota, Colombia.
I work at NATO's Strategic Warfighting Headquarters, where I'm in charge of the operations, missions, and activities of NATO.
Clements Center is 10 years old, so this year we are celebrating our 10th anniversary. We're still relatively young. I feel like we've had a good run for that first decade and very excited for continued growth and advancing our mission in the decades to come. Clements Center was created to honor the legacy of Bill Clements, two-term governor of our state, a distinguished pioneer in oil and gas drilling, and he served as Deputy Secretary of Defense under Presidents Nixon and Ford.
He was a philanthropist, and I think that the two things he enjoyed the most were being a philanthropist and then running the Defense Department, which is why the Clements Center at UT is so appropriate to be named after him.
The basic criteria in any management function, be it the Department of Defense or be it Governor of the state of Texas, is to surround yourself with the absolutely best people possible.
The Clements Center's mission in teaching and training goes well beyond the classroom.
A career in national security, it's working on Capitol Hill, or one could be a defense economist at the Defense Intelligence Agency, cryptologists and coders, fighter pilots and artillery officers, paratroopers and submariners. So the list really does go on, and we need all types.
Daily routine for us in the squadron, we'll start out with a flight briefing, then walk down and we start to gear up. The maintenance professionals have already prepared the jets.
The study of national security gets to the core purpose and values of our country. It begins with the need to protect the United States from any adversaries, but also promoting American values in the world. I think we improve our security by helping to enlarge the boundaries of the free world. The Clements Center very much believes in applied history.
The merging of strategy and statecraft and history is just so unique, and something that really the Clements Center is the only institution that's bringing to bear.
In some ways, I would say, how can we do national security without studying history? This is a very specialized undertaking. It demands considerable expertise and training. knowledge of international relations, knowledge of America's role in the world, knowledge of the State Department, the Pentagon, the intelligence community, the role of Congress, and then the role of scholarship of universities and think tanks in producing the studies and ideas that national security practitioners can then take and implement. And that's why we launched the Clements Center. Our student travel and study abroad programs are a really key part of what we do.
One of our oldest is the London Maymester. We take students on trips related to U.S.-UK relations in the 20th century. Of course, World War II. We bring students to Normandy. They see Omaha Beach. They see the enormity of the undertaking. We recently have added a trip to Gettysburg and Washington, D.C. We have a trip scheduled to Israel and the Palestinian territories.
We're planning a study abroad a little further down the line in Australia as well to look at U.S.-Australia alliance, America's role in the Pacific over the last 100 years, including the current challenges we're facing in the Indo-Pacific, especially with the rise of China. Part of the Clements Center's mission is ensuring a diversity of viewpoints and backgrounds and perspectives.
One example of how the Clements Center builds community is through our biweekly coffee hours.
The Clements Center coffee hours are meetings of undergrads and graduate students from across the campus, with each coffee hour being focused on a particular topic relating to national security or foreign policy. And they're all facilitated and run by students.
I like that it's student-led primarily, and I like that we have a lot of free reign just to discuss in a Socratic method just how we're feeling, what we think, whether we're right or we're wrong. We can explore ideas and not be judged for them.
They have an atmosphere of playful camaraderie, and I think that that's the reason why we can speak so openly and honestly in them.
In the last 10 years, we've been honored to host a number of senior policymakers, President George W. Bush, Vice President Mike Pence, 4 Secretaries of State, 2 Secretaries of Defense, 3 National Security Advisors, several Directors of National Intelligence and CIA directors, numerous U.S. senators, and dozens of other military and policy leaders.
We are generally operating under Chatham House rules, so the professionals that we bring in can talk freely. They speak off the record.
We also try to arrange for them a private meeting, usually a breakfast or lunch or coffee, with a select group of our students. These are off-the-record, private, candid conversations for someone who is very accomplished in their career to share professional advice.
They do bring in these people who are part of history, and as a student, these jobs seem unreachable. But when it comes down to it, you're being put in a situation where this is your potential career track, that you are getting to meet and learn from people who are real human beings, and you get to know that this is something worth aspiring to.
To get to be in some of these small group settings where a wide range of policy professionals were sitting down with us and, again, being candid about their mistakes, being candid about their successes, that for me was one of the real benefits of the Clements Center.
We augment what they are offered in their academic units and connect them to the professional world.
We had a career fair, and I think 400 students registered to go talk to more than 24 different organizations about careers in public service and national security. And that, frankly, wouldn't happen without the Clements Center.
We've seen some great job opportunities come out of that. And then we had a series of expert panels on current national security challenges.
One of the things I enjoy the most about talking to students is just enjoying the excitement that they have, their anticipation for their future, the uncertainty that comes with it. I can talk to them about what's out there, what's the current state of play in the national security arena, what will they bring as brand new graduates from the University of Texas.
I'll be starting at Deloitte this summer in the government and public services sector. Yeah, very excited for that, and very thankful to Clements for helping me get there.
I'm a first-year graduate student pursuing a dual master's in global policy studies and Russian, East European, and Eurasian studies.
So right now I'm a third-year PhD student here as an Army Fellow in the Good Pastor Scholars Program.
Originally, I'm from Afghanistan. I'm studying international relations and global studies.
I am an active duty Air Force officer and a PhD student at the LBJ School of Public Affairs, studying Japanese security relations with Southeast Asia.
Yeah, mentorship played a huge role then, and it continues to play a role now, because once you're part of the Clements Center network, you're always part of the network.
One of the things that Clements does incredibly well is to develop an alumni network to make sure that young people, as they're coming up through DC, can look at the old folks in the room, like myself, and know that there are people they can talk to for advice. and actually be inspired to pursue those paths. There were not a lot of women when I was going through school who were on this national security track that I could speak to, but the more people that end up in alumni networks like Clements is building, the less likely that other women will face those same situations where they don't even know where to look.
Really and truly, the mentors at the Clements Center have helped me shape my dreams and goals and helped me create the professional and personal path that I'm on.
When students see that you really have their interests at heart, that you're willing to take time for them, to understand them, even help them understand themselves, and they become more engaged in this profession. They become more convinced that national security is a field worth pursuing and that the United States is a place worth defending.